Good evening from Ahava Farm yet again. We are here again on a beautiful fall evening, and this evening our project is to work with Ollie, our quarter horse, on side saddle riding. And if you remember from our previous video on side saddle, the first known side saddles were introduced in about 1360. So they've been around for a very, very long time. And actually they represented at that time a real advance for women riding, because they gave women the opportunity to sit modestly on a horse while still having full control of the reins. So for those who know something about side saddle, this will not be new. But for those who don't, the issue with side saddle is that both legs are on the left-hand side of the horse. So you need to have a really good set of communication cues set up with your horse to be able to give cues on the right-hand side. So I will actually, when I'm riding Ollie, I'm going to carry a small crop just in case I need it. But for now, we're going to do a very relaxed ride in the big 2-acre paddock and see how he does taking direction. What I'm doing is I'm allowing Ollie a lot of freedom in just walking around. And the big issue with side saddle, he's going to put his head down probably and look for some grain, which is fine, is attempting to keep your body and your core in the same kind of position that you would use for a stride riding. So you're not supposed to be tilted in either direction. So he should actually, the horse should feel pretty much almost as though you've got your leg over both sides of the horse. So he's headed over to Juno. Let's see what he does. She's moving out of the way. He's coming to the fence line. There we go, we're turning around. Oh, Al. And let's head out, bud. That's a good boy. So this is actually quite nice, relaxed riding. And I'm feeling quite balanced, which is great. So if I were technically totally correct, I would have my right leg totally covered by my dress, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Right now we're just practicing. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. So let's see what he does with the barrels. Asking him to move to the right. Good boy. So he sees Luna, but he's not all that interested. So we're just going to keep rolling. He's doing really, really nicely. So I'm going to ask him to make a turn again. And I'm using the same idea that I would riding stride, which is I'm looking in the direction I want to go in and asking him to change his direction, which is working fine in spite of the fact that I've got both legs on one side of the saddle. There you go, good boy, good boy. Let's see whether we can keep going. And we are. He's going to check out this bowl, but he sees there's nothing in it. So we're going to keep going. And I am giving him a little bit of a signal on his right side to keep him moving forward. Good boy, Al. Let's see if we can go around the hay bale. So it's very easy, obviously, to give him a proper signal on the left-hand side, because I got both legs over there. But he is doing absolutely beautifully. This is really, really wonderful. We haven't ridden this way in a while, so I'm very, very happy with how he's doing. And basically, the main difference between astride and aside is kind of signaling with your entire body that is your seat and your legs, because of course you don't have the right hand side and the right hand leg. So he needs to know basically what I'm asking him to do almost before we're moving. And he just did absolutely beautifully. I'm really happy with that. So let's see if we can ask him to move back. 1. Keep going, bud. I know. 2, 3. That was beautiful. Oh, very, very good. So I'm going to let him think about that for a minute, and then let him take over for a minute and see where he wants to go. Really, really nicely done today. This seems to be quite comfortable for him. And once again, I'm using a Western side saddle as opposed to an English side saddle. So it's got quite a bit of bulk, but this is a synthetic saddle, so it's not quite as heavy as a standard Western side saddle would be, which would be about 40 pounds. So this is actually considerably lighter than that, which is nice. Again, I'm letting him make some decisions about where he wants to go. It's important to note that women in the 19th century, and in fact women who compete in side saddle, move easily into trot, into canter. They actually jump, which I'm not brave enough to do at this point. But once you get your balance set up, it's really quite a comfortable way to ride. So I strongly urge people to try it, not necessarily in Victorian dress, but you can ride side saddle just wearing regular pants and breeches. And even men ride side saddle. There you go, huh? Good boy, nicely done. Once again, I'm endlessly impressed with my friend Ollie, the quarter horse, who is truly a star. And what I'm going to do now, only because this is something that most people don't think about, particularly when they're wearing Victorian dress, in terms of dismounting from side saddle without losing your entire skirt. So I've done this once or twice and ended up with my skirts up around my waist. So what I'm going to try to do right now is dismount without doing that. So I'm grabbing my skirts, bringing them over the pommel and over the leaping horn, taking my foot out of the one stirrup and sliding down. And you didn't see my underwear. This is a huge success. And Ollie is licking his lips. I'm absolutely thrilled. So, this is side saddle. I strongly urge people to try it. It is a wonderful, wonderful way to ride and gives us a sense of what it was like for women from the 14th through the 19th centuries, and actually even into the early 20th centuries, when it was considered immodest. And in fact, in the 13th century, women were thought to lose their virginity if they rode astride with both legs over the horse. So we're a little beyond that now, but there are very, very great organizations who dedicate themselves to reenacting. The American Side Saddle Association, which is a wonderful organization, commits itself to riding in the Gettysburg Remembrance Day Parade every year. That's on November 19th, and commemorates the Gettysburg Address. So I applaud people who are interested in the history of particularly women riding. So we did a lovely, lovely side saddle session with Ollie. It is not the way that I usually ride with him, so I was delighted at his connection with me during the course of this ride, which, coming back to the basic tenet of horsemanship, is about a developed relationship over time. So in spite of the fact that I'm wearing a Victorian dress and there's the added burden of that, and the side saddle is differently balanced than in a stride saddle, my relationship with Ollie remained sufficiently intact so that the difference in the saddle didn't make any difference in terms of the riding. So I'm delighted that this went as well as it did, and we'll move on to possibly some speedier side saddle riding the next time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We love having our viewers comment on our videos, so please feel free to comment, ask questions. I will answer. I look at the page every day, so look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.